My journey from Angola to USA was a testament to resilience. It began with open excitement but quickly became a survival trial. I arrived with dreams and aspirations only to face unexpected challenges. Within my adoptive family, church, and among those who ready to tear down rather than uplift. I was adopted by my uncle when I was 8 years old, and it was a very exciting moment for me because I didn't grow up around my parents. My mother was never around, and my father wasn't around at all in my life growing up. So when my grandfather told me that my uncle who lives in Angola wanted to adopt me, I was very happy. As a kid, I was excited to have a family, finally have a family. So I was taken there. I arrived there from Congo to Angola. It took us a couple hours because we traveled by bus. And I arrived in the house. At the time, my uncle had two kids. The firstborn, the boy, and the secondborn, the girl. I won't say their names for their privacy. And at the time, they were like 3 and 2 years old. Everything was okay, but the more I grew up, my relationship and my uncles was start getting shaky because she would tell me to do things in the house. You can do it. No matter how you do it, she will never get satisfied. When you make a little mistake, she start yelling at you like she's fighting with somebody. No matter what you do, it's never enough, and you can't complain that you are tired. Sometimes it'll be so much, and when I complain that I'm tired, I will be accused by being rebel or hard-headed. So I had no right to speak up. I had to do everything that I was told without complaining. And most of these things will happen when my uncle is at work. When my uncle is home, she will be all loving and stuff. She had two faces. When my uncle is there, she will treat me so well. When my uncle is down there, she will just like flip on me and start treating me just very different. And I didn't complain or tell my uncle because I was scared. In my mind, as a kid, I was just like, that's his wife. Even though I say something, what is he gonna do about it? Maybe he won't believe me, and I don't wanna be in trouble, so I will just keep it for myself. And when she started having all the kids, as a big sister in the house, I will help to take care of the kids and help with the chores in the house. And the more I grew up, more responsibility came to me, and it just felt like she would leave everything on me, even though I'm tired. Sometimes I would even get sick, and she sees that I'm sick. She don't even care. She will just like, all they care about is for me to do what they need me to do in the house. That's all. And there were times she would just treat me like I was just a servant in the house, and my job in the house was just to do whatever they need me to do and, serve them. Sometimes she will go out and call me on the phone in the morning. Have you cooked? Have you finished cooking yet? I'm like, no, I haven't finished cooking yet because I had to clean the house and do some of the stuff before I cook. And then she will start yelling in the phone, why have you not finished cook yet? It's been a while now. And she knows how much work I have to do. And most of the time, she won't even help with these works. And with all of these things, when I complain, I'm a bad kid or I'm disrespecting her. The most difficult part was before we come here in America in 2018, when she was pregnant of the twins. And there were times when I would just do things to please her, to get acceptance from her. Because she will never get satisfied, and sometimes I will be scared of making mistakes. And I got tired and I started isolating myself. I got tired of her always complaining about everything, yelling at me about everything, never getting satisfied. And I got tired of living to please her. So I started isolating myself in my room. And I just stopped giving her my energy. And she will complain to my uncle and everybody that comes in the house that I'm not a good kid. I am a hard-headed. I am disrespectful. I always disrespect her. I always fight her when she's the one who start things. When I respond to her, I try to defend myself. She starts saying that I am fighting her. And there were times that people will come to me and ask me if she's really my mother from the way she treats me. Sometimes people will just come in the house and see the way she treats me and they ask me if she's really my mother. And she started noticing it. And what she will say is my character, the way I act, that makes people think that she's not my mother. And before we come here in America in 2018, she was pregnant of the twins. And it was a very difficult season for me because at that time, before, she used to hide the way she treats me in front of my uncle. When my uncle is not there, she will treat me however she want. When my uncle is there, she will pretend to be nice and all these things. But when she got pregnant of twins, she now started to show how she feels about me in front of my uncle. Sometimes she will treat me like a servant in front of my uncle, and he would just sit there and watch her and not say nothing. Before, I used to not pay attention because he will be like at work, and when something happens, she takes it and tell him whatever she wanna tell him to make me look like a bad kid. But at that time, he was there. He witnessed everything. And it made me feel some type of way. I felt so bad because he was actually there witnessing everything that happens. Everything that I will complain about sometimes and not do nothing about it. He just sat there. And when we start preparing our trip to here in America, things got even more worse because she didn't want me to come, and she was doing everything like to pick on me to get my reaction so that my uncle can get mad at me so that I could stay. Every time I got over it and I tried to react, there used to be two cousins living with us, two guy cousins, and they witnessed everything. I thank God for them because they supported me a lot with advice along that time. And sometimes when she will come and start picking on me, one of my cousins will come behind her and start like giving me sign like calm down, calm down. When she's gone, they will come and start speaking to me, advising me, don't worry, things will pass, just don't pay attention. She's trying to get your reaction, she's trying to get you sabotage it because she knows you guys are about to travel, so she's trying to make you stay. You already know, so be patient, things gonna be fine. You just be quiet, let her do whatever she wanna do. And things kept happening like that until she traveled, because she was actually the first one to travel to America. She was close to giving birth, so she had to go to give birth to the baby in America. So me and my cousin stayed for about a month and a half, and then we took our trip too. And we went to America. We came here. And one thing I learned is that no matter what people do, no matter whatever the plans God has for your life, people can do everything. They won't be able to sabotage it. You know, God's plans remain, and no matter what people do, it will always come to pass. We landed in America, and it was around July, and we stayed in the pastor's house and for a couple months. And then later on, we moved into our own house. And after a couple months, my uncle joined us too, because after he dropped me and my cousins or my brothers, and he had to go back to Angola to put his stuffs together. So when he was done with his stuffs over there in Angola, he came here. And things were still happening, and I was fed up. I was really tired already. And my plans were, when I'm done with high school, I was going to find a job and find my apartment to move, or go to college and live in campus. And I remember having this conversation with my uncle. I told him that I will go live in campus when I'm done with high school. And his response was, since Angola, I've always been distant, and I've always act like I'm not part of the family. I've always isolated myself, and I've always tried to like distance myself from the family, find a way to distance myself from the family. And he knows the reason why. What he would do is to try to cover the real situation that is happening and make it look like nothing is going on. Something he will act like is a new thing, that I'm always in my own space, I'm always isolated. But when he knows very well the reason why, he have been there, he have witnessed most of the time things that his wife does in the house, how she treats me. And he would defend me sometimes, but the thing is, when he does defend me, it'll be a big problem. They will be like fighting, and that's the reason why I never told him what is going on between me and his wife. I always let him find for himself, because I will get accused. His wife will accuse me that I am the problem. I'm the reason why she's always fighting with her husband. I want to separate her from her husband. So I will choose to stay quiet and not say nothing when things are happening. Another thing my uncle used to tell me also was like he also had a difficult childhood. Life is not made of roses. And because I was also tired of her accusations, and I was really tired of everything. Like, I was tired, I was fed up, and I was depressed, because back in Angola, and when things happen, sometimes I will go to my auntie's house and speak to my auntie, and speak with my cousins, things like this, because they know what used to happen in the house, and they will advise me too. But here in America, I didn't have no one. It was just me. No one was there to defend me, and it was very difficult. I was depressed. I missed my cousins. I missed my auntie, and I had to deal with her. And I just wanted things to end. I just wanted to change my life, to live a different life, to finally live a peaceful life, and find somewhere where I could just live in peace. Even if I had to work day and night, that was my plan. And one day, I woke up in the morning, and mind you, I will wake up in the morning, I'll have to clean the house, I'll have to cook, and I'll have to wash the dishes, all these things. She will be just there in her phone. She wouldn't even care if it's too much for me or not. She wouldn't help with nothing. I will do everything by myself. And then at the end, she will come and see the bathroom and complain about the bathroom. It's not clean. It's not well clean. And I'll have to start over again. And she will come, oh, this is not well done. That is not well done. Just complaining. And one day I woke up in the morning. I was doing all these things. I wake up in the morning, I start cleaning the house, and while I was cleaning the house, because I had to do the laundry, I went downstairs, and I had to cook after that. I remember I went downstairs to the basement. I was putting the clothes in the washing machine, and I didn't even know what happened up there. And she came mad. She was like putting her stuff together, and she was taking her stuff from the room and putting the stuff in the basement. And she asked me, oh, did you tell your father that I mistreat you in this house? That's why you want to go to live in campus. She started confronting me, and since at the time I was always scared, I was just looking at her speaking and stuff. I remember I said, I said, no, I didn't say none of that. I go back upstairs. My uncle calls me, and my cousin, his purse burned, and he started explaining the reason why she's made like this. It is because he called her out, because every single day she does the same thing. She wake up in the morning, she sit in her phone, she doesn't even bother to help with the works in the house, and me as her servant, I gotta do everything. And then he asked her, why is she getting so lazy? That's why she got so mad, and she started packing her stuff to go back to Angola. And after that, my uncle asked me, in this house, who does more work, who does every work in the house? Me, since I didn't want to be in trouble, I really didn't want to, I never wanted to speak about these things. I didn't respond, I didn't say nothing. And he asked my cousin, his son, who do you think who does the most work in this house? And my cousin said, it's they call me Mana. Mana means a big sister in Portuguese. He said Mana does the most work here in this house. And then he started explaining. He called my cousin and to speak about him this stuff too, because he's already growing and he can see things how it happens in the house and things like this. And he started explaining to my cousin that I am not their child and they adopted me, and they've always been injustice in the part of my auntie, his wife. Yeah, and he explains the reason why he's telling his son, because he's growing now. It is very important for him to understand things that are going on in the house. Days went by, and she will disrespect me in front of people. But because I respected my uncle, I would just, keep that respect that I have for her and not respond her in front of people. And sometimes we will go to church, she would disrespect me in church, like in front of people. But that will make me so pissed off, but I won't say nothing. I remember one day she yelled at me. We were at church. She yelled at me. I remember what was the reason. She yelled at me. I got really mad, but I didn't say nothing. I stayed, and now I start having attitude toward her. I start showing attitude, and every time she will ask me to do something, I will do everything she asked me to do. I didn't really want to disrespect her because of my uncle, because I respected my uncle and she's my uncle's wife. So I've always respected her, no matter how she treats me. But she would tell me to do stuff, I would do it. But sometimes I will give her attitude. She notices it. And the thing is, she treats you any type of way. When you start reacting to how she's treating you, when I start giving her attitude, she start not complaining. She will always come and say, "Oh, I don't change. I'm a bad kid, and I need to change." Like acting like I was always the problem, putting the problem on me, forgetting that she's always the one who starts. And sometimes my reaction is the result of how she treats me. One day she asked me to cook. I remember it was to cook beans. I went and cooked beans, but I remember I was giving her attitude, and then she came to me and she started yelling at me, "Why are you giving me attitude? You never change. You are the same, like you are a bad kid." Because I was fed up, I started arguing with everything she was saying. I was like, "Yeah, I'm a bad kid. I never been a good kid anyways. You always call me that. So what the difference? You never say my good." I was like, okay. I was just arguing with everything. And then I told her, and my uncle was there sitting and watching us arguing. And then I told her at the end of everything, I told her that she don't deserve respect. I respect her. She disrespect me in front of people. She humiliate me in front of people. She treat me how she want in front of people, but I still respect her. But every respect that I give to her, she don't deserve it. And my uncle was there. After that, my uncle called me. He was like, he's surprised, and he never seen this part of me. He understands that sometimes she's overreacting, but she's old. She don't deserve that. I can't tell an old person that she don't deserve respect. He made a big deal out of it. At the time, I used to rehearse, so we used to sing. There used to be this guy who used to train us on singing, me and my sister. He talked to this guy. He told him to start advising me to start preaching on us. And I don't know what he told the pastor, but he talked to the pastor. Whatever he told the pastor called me, and he talked to me. He didn't even ask me what happened, but he put me in prayers, and he put me in fast and prayer. According to him, I will go to deliverance. That hit me so bad. I was crying. Why? Because all this time, the way she treated me, you've been there watching and everything. She sang at the church. She served God at the church. And you've been seeing the way she treated me. You never did nothing about it. When it comes to me, when I come to defend myself against her, I tell her what she deserves to hear. I tell her the truth. And then you come and tell the pastor stops, and then tell people to stop preaching on me like I did something, like I was the worst person in the world. When I was in the program of fasting, I remember I was just crying, and the only thing I was asking God was justice. I was praying, fasting, and asking God justice, just do justice. You know what have been going on in this house. And then when we go to Rialso, to that guy that my father talked to, and he was asking me, your father told me to start preaching to you guys. What did you do? I didn't want to say nothing. I was just crying, but he was insisting. After that, I had to tell him everything that happened in the house and the thing that happened that day. And then he was surprised. He was like, I thought you did something so serious. That's why he was asking me to start preaching to you guys. I was like, this is what happened. And he was like, yeah, your dad is right. She's all you can't tell her she don't deserve respect just to cover it up. That was actually the first time that I ever spoke to somebody and told them what was going on in the house, because he was thinking that I did something serious. I was like, no, I'm not gonna sit down here and let him just think that I did something so serious when this is what happened. So I explained everything to him. After that, I started feeling the need to get a job because I really wanted to be out of that house. I started asking my uncle that I want to get a job. Sometimes he would tell me that I can't work and go to school at the same time. It's going to be too much for me. But I was insistent, and I only started to work in 2020 during COVID time, and my first job was at Walmart. So during that season, things were really intense, and the energy in the house was just really bad, and I was avoiding her at any cost. I didn't want to come across her inside the house. So I would wake up in the morning, do what I need to do, and then go back to my room. And one day I had a dream. In that dream, I was in my room sleeping, and she comes into my room with an injection, and she inject that to me. And when I woke up, I was trying to move to stand, and she was telling me, don't move, just stay down. Don't move, stay there. I woke up, and I remember I was really scared when I came out of the dream. And the first thing I did was calling my cousin. I called my cousin and I explained the dream to her. I don't remember what she told me at the time, but I forgot about the dream. I've completely forgot about that dream. And after days I sleep, the same dream comes again. I had the same exact dream, the same way it happened the first time. And I woke up, and in the morning I called my cousin and I started explaining to her. She told me, listen, you already told me this dream. You already told me this dream, and a week ago you told me the same dream that you had. And she explained to me, she said, our auntie in Angola too, she had the same dream. And that dream, she saw the same person and came to inject her with something in her back. And she told me, my cousin told me, listen, just be careful. Just be careful. You have to pray a lot. Now I start fearing for my life. I start getting scared. One night I sleep. One thing about me, I can be sleeping deeply. If somebody is staring at me with a bad energy, I will wake up no matter how deep I was sleeping. Mostly if the person doesn't have good intention, or the person don't have good energy, I will wake up right away. I will feel the person presence staring at me. And I was sleeping that night and I felt her presence in my room. When I woke up, I saw her. I don't know what she was doing there, but she said, oh, the cockroach just run away over here. I was looking for the cockroach. I was like, at this time, in the middle of the night, you are chasing cockroach? This is a new thing for me, because after that, I saw the time, it was like past midnight already. I was like, this is not normal. And after all the dreams that I had, and I was just, I started getting alarmed. I started living in the house with reservation, fearing for my life. One day, a colleague from my school, she comes so that I can do her hair. in my room. I was doing her hair in my room. And I remember in the middle of doing her hair, I had to stop and go get something outside. I think I wanted to use the bathroom or get something in the kitchen. So I remember I went out and then came back. I was standing close to the door, and then she looked at me and she saw a noodle standing at the door just like this, and it was standing this way at the door. And then she said, "Hey, be careful, there is a noodle standing there." And she went so quick and took it out. She said, "Listen, I don't know who put this in there. If you just had step on it, you could die. If it enters your vein and touch your nerves, you could die from it." I was like, I didn't put it in there. I don't know who could possibly put it in there, or maybe just failed. But I remember I didn't have any noodle at that time. I didn't have noodle with me. And I was now thinking on how I could possibly, find another place for me to live. I don't know. And I couldn't have job at the time because my uncle wouldn't let me get a job. He would say I can't work while you're going at this as in school at the same time. It'll be too much for me. I was like, I can't get a job, and I don't know. I was just praying, God, I don't know how it's going to happen, but please, I really, really wanna be out of this house. Just get me out of this house. I just wanna be out of this house. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but I just wanna be out of this house.